Greetings, friends! Today, I'm thrilled to share with you the fascinating tale of Cleopatra, the final queen of ancient Egypt. This isn't just a simple history lesson, it's a captivating adventure brimming with drama, power, love, and ambition. Cleopatra stands as one of the most iconic figures in history, and her life unfolds like an epic film. So, make yourselves comfortable and immerse yourselves in this remarkable story, a fantastic way to enhance your English skills. Listen to the end to learn how Cleopatra's courage, intelligence, and determination can inspire you to face your own challenges with strength and grace. I guarantee you'll find every moment absolutely captivating. Chapter 1: Cleopatra's Early Life. Over 2,000 years ago, in the bustling city of Alexandria, Egypt, a baby girl was born into a world of opulence and intrigue. The year was 69 BCE, and this infant, Cleopatra VII, was destined to become a queen unlike any other. But before she ruled, she was simply a princess with big dreams. Cleopatra's family, the Ptolemaic dynasty, had ruled Egypt for centuries, yet their roots lay not in the sands of Egypt, but in the rocky terrain of Greece. Her ancestor, Ptolemy I, a general under Alexander the Great, seized the Egyptian throne after Alexander's death, intertwining Greek and Egyptian heritage in Cleopatra's bloodline. As the daughter of King Ptolemy XII, Cleopatra's childhood was one of unimaginable luxury. Servants catered to her every whim, exquisite clothes adorned her, and the finest tutors educated her. Yet, palace life was a double-edged sword. The thirst for power coursed through her family's veins, breeding treachery and even murder among its members. In a time when most women were confined to domestic roles, Cleopatra defied expectations. She devoured knowledge with an insatiable hunger, mastering languages like Greek, Latin, Egyptian, and Hebrew, a feat that set her apart. Her intellectual curiosity extended to science, math, literature, and politics, molding her into a ruler who would wield wisdom as her scepter. Cleopatra's allure extended beyond her intellect. Her charisma was legendary, her voice said to be so enchanting that it could captivate any listener. She possessed a confidence that radiated from her, a quality that would prove invaluable in the cutthroat world of politics. Despite her privileged upbringing, Cleopatra's childhood was marred by her father's incompetence. King Ptolemy XII's reign was riddled with discontent, forcing the royal family into exile at times. Cleopatra learned early on that the crown was a heavy burden, and that ruling meant navigating a sea of enemies. At the tender age of 14, Cleopatra's life took a dramatic turn. Her mother vanished under mysterious circumstances, leaving behind whispers of death and foul play. As her father's health deteriorated, Cleopatra's destiny loomed large. The throne awaited, and she would have to fight for it. What set Cleopatra apart from her predecessors was her unwavering devotion to Egypt. Though of Greek descent, she embraced Egyptian culture and traditions. She was the first Ptolemaic ruler to learn the Egyptian language, even presenting herself as the goddess Isis, a beloved figure in Egyptian mythology. As Cleopatra blossomed into womanhood, she was poised to rule. But the path to power was fraught with danger. Enemies lurked within and outside her family, and she knew she would need every ounce of her courage, wit, and strength to prevail. Thus begins the saga of Cleopatra's ascent to the throne, a tale of ambition, love, and betrayal that would echo through the ages. Cleopatra was known for speaking 7 languages fluently. In English, what do we call someone who speaks multiple languages? A. Monolingual. B. Bilingual. C. Polyglot. D. Multilingual. Let me know your answer in the comments below, and if you're learning English, tell us how many languages you speak. Don't forget to like and share this video to help others learn English through amazing stories like Cleopatra's. Chapter 2: Cleopatra becomes queen. Cleopatra was no ordinary young woman. From the moment she was born, her destiny was to rule. But becoming queen was not easy, it was a path full of danger, betrayal, and daring plans. Let me tell you how Cleopatra became the Queen of Egypt. When Cleopatra was 18 years old, her father, King Ptolemy XII, passed away. In his will, he declared that Cleopatra would rule Egypt, but not alone. She had to share the throne with her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII, who was only 10 years old. Yes, in ancient Egypt, it was common for siblings to rule together, even if they were very young. But Cleopatra didn't want to share her power. She believed she was more capable and smarter than her brother. She had studied languages, history, and politics, while her brother was just a child with no experience. Cleopatra knew she had to take control if she wanted to protect Egypt and rule it the way it deserved. At first, Cleopatra tried to work with her brother, but soon, their advisors started plotting against her. The advisors didn't like the idea of a strong and intelligent woman ruling Egypt. They wanted Ptolemy XIII to have all the power because he was easier to control. Cleopatra's life quickly became very dangerous. She was forced to leave the royal palace and escape to the desert. Picture this, Cleopatra, the rightful queen, wandering in the hot, dry desert with only a few loyal followers. She had no home, no army, and no throne. But Cleopatra was not the kind of woman who gave up. While she was in exile, Cleopatra began to hatch a plan. She knew she couldn't take back her throne alone. She needed help, and she had to think fast. Luckily, at this time, a powerful Roman general named Julius Caesar arrived in Egypt. Caesar was one of the most famous and influential men in the world, and Cleopatra saw an opportunity. Cleopatra decided to meet Caesar, but she knew she had to do something dramatic to grab his attention. She couldn't just walk into the palace because her enemies would stop her. So, she came up with a bold and clever idea. One night, Cleopatra had her loyal servant wrap her in a large carpet, yes, a carpet. Then, the servant carried the carpet into Caesar's quarters as a gift. When the carpet was unrolled, Cleopatra appeared, looking stunning and full of confidence. Can you imagine Caesar's surprise when this beautiful, intelligent young woman emerged from the carpet? Cleopatra spoke to Caesar with charm and intelligence. She told him about her struggles, her love for Egypt, and her dreams of becoming a great queen. Caesar was impressed. He saw that Cleopatra was not just beautiful, she was also brilliant and ambitious. Caesar agreed to help Cleopatra regain her throne. Together, they planned a way to defeat Ptolemy XIII and his advisors. Cleopatra's enemies didn't stand a chance against the combined forces of Cleopatra and Caesar. After a fierce battle, Ptolemy XIII was defeated, and Cleopatra was restored as the Queen of Egypt. But Cleopatra wasn't just satisfied with regaining her throne. She wanted Egypt to become powerful and respected again. She started working closely with Caesar to strengthen her country. She introduced new policies, improved trade, and even built a strong relationship between Egypt and Rome. Chapter 3, Cleopatra and Julius Caesar, a love story amidst power and politics. Cleopatra, now the Queen of Egypt, had won her throne back with the aid of Julius Caesar, one of Rome's most powerful men. Their alliance wasn't merely political, it was a passionate love story intertwined with ambition and danger. After defeating her brother with Caesar's help, Cleopatra became Egypt's most powerful figure. But she didn't just want to rule, she yearned to make her country strong and respected globally, and she knew Caesar could help her achieve this. Cleopatra and Caesar's bond deepened after the battle. Cleopatra admired Caesar's strength, intelligence, and leadership, while Caesar was captivated by Cleopatra's beauty, charm, and sharp mind. Despite their age difference, he was 52, and she was only 21, their connection was undeniable. At Cleopatra's invitation, Caesar stayed in Egypt. Together, they explored the enchanting city of Alexandria, sailed the Nile River, and discussed their future plans. Cleopatra showcased Egypt's rich culture and history, leaving Caesar impressed. He realized Egypt was more than just deserts and pyramids, it was a powerful, wealthy nation with immense potential. During this idyllic time, Cleopatra became pregnant, giving birth to a son in 47 BCE, whom she named Ptolemy Caesar, but who was affectionately called Caesarion, meaning Little Caesar. Cleopatra believed Caesarion would one day unite Egypt and Rome, creating a mighty empire. However, their happiness was short-lived. Their relationship caused unrest in Rome. Many Romans disapproved of Caesar's close relationship with a foreign queen, some even calling her a dangerous temptress. When Caesar decided to return to Rome, he didn't leave Cleopatra behind. Instead, he invited her to join him. Bold and fearless, Cleopatra agreed, traveling to Rome with Caesarion and a lavish entourage. Picture the scene: Cleopatra arriving in Rome with golden chariots, exotic animals, and beautiful Egyptian servants, showcasing Egypt's wealth and power to the Romans. In Rome, she lived in a luxurious villa provided by Caesar, attending banquets, meeting influential Roman leaders, and even influencing Roman fashion with her Egyptian style. But not everyone welcomed her. Roman women, in particular, were uneasy with Cleopatra's confidence, glamour, and unapologetic individuality. During her time in Rome, Cleopatra witnessed Caesar's rise to power as he declared himself dictator for life. She hoped this would strengthen their alliance, but trouble was brewing. Many Roman senators, unhappy with Caesar's growing power, began plotting against him. Then, tragedy struck in 44 BCE. Julius Caesar was assassinated by a group of senators who feared his power. His death sent shockwaves across the world. Cleopatra was devastated by the loss of her greatest ally and the father of her son. Knowing her life was in danger without Caesar's protection, she had to act swiftly. Gathering her servants, her son, and her treasures, she fled back to Egypt. Back in Egypt, Cleopatra was determined to remain strong. She mourned Caesar but didn't let his death deter her. She continued to rule Egypt with wisdom and courage, strengthening her army, improving the economy, and preparing for future challenges. She also ensured her son, Caesarion's, protection, wanting him to grow into a strong leader who could one day fulfill her dream of uniting Egypt and Rome. But Cleopatra knew Egypt was still vulnerable. Rome was the world's most powerful empire, and Egypt needed a strong ally. Cleopatra began searching for new ways to protect her country and her throne. This chapter of Cleopatra's life was a whirlwind of love, loss, and survival. She had faced immense tragedy but refused to surrender. Chapter 4: Cleopatra and Mark Antony, a love story for the ages. Cleopatra's life took another exciting and dramatic turn after Julius Caesar's death. This chapter unveils the tale of Cleopatra's fateful meeting with Mark Antony, one of the most powerful leaders in Rome, and how their story became one of the most famous love stories in history. The power vacuum. After Julius Caesar's assassination, Rome was plunged into chaos. Power-hungry men fought to take control of the empire. Among them were Mark Antony, Octavian, Caesar's adopted son, and Lepidus. Together, they formed the Second Triumvirate to rule Rome, but an undercurrent of suspicion and mistrust bubbled beneath the surface. The players. Mark Antony was a seasoned soldier and a skilled leader. Strong, handsome, and brimming with confidence, he exuded charm that drew people to him. Mark Antony had heard whispers of Cleopatra, the beautiful and intelligent queen of Egypt, but their paths had never crossed. At this time, Mark Antony desired Egypt's support, recognizing its wealth and power. Cleopatra, on the other hand, was determined to protect Egypt from Rome's ever-expanding reach. She knew that forging a strong alliance with Mark Antony could be her best defense. The invitation. One day, a message arrived from Mark Antony. He requested her presence in Tarsus, a city in modern-day Turkey, to discuss their alliance. Cleopatra saw this as her opportunity to make an indelible impression on Antony, and she planned a spectacle that would be nothing short of unforgettable. The grand entrance. When Cleopatra arrived in Tarsus, she didn't merely arrive as a queen, she orchestrated a grand entrance that would leave everyone awestruck. Cleopatra sailed into Tarsus on a golden ship adorned with silver oars and purple sails. She embodied the goddess Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, surrounded by a retinue of beautiful servants dressed as gods and goddesses. The air was heavy with the intoxicating scent of perfumes and flowers. Captivated, when Antony laid eyes on Cleopatra, he was spellbound. Never had he encountered anyone like her. She was confident, intelligent, and breathtakingly beautiful. Cleopatra spoke to Antony with charm and wit, and he was utterly captivated. Love and politics. That meeting marked the beginning of their powerful and passionate relationship. At Cleopatra's invitation, Antony journeyed to Egypt. In Alexandria, they reveled in lavish banquets, parties, and games. Cleopatra showcased the beauty of Egypt and its rich culture. They laughed, shared stories, and envisioned a future together. Antony fell deeply in love with Cleopatra, and she with him. Together, they dreamed of forging a great empire that would reign over both Rome and Egypt. Cleopatra believed that with Antony by her side, she could safeguard Egypt and elevate it to unprecedented power. But their relationship wasn't solely built on love, it was a strategic alliance. Antony needed Cleopatra's wealth and resources to fuel his military campaigns, and Cleopatra needed Antony's power to shield Egypt. They were both acutely aware that their strength was amplified when they stood united. A family and a threat. Cleopatra and Antony's love deepened, and they became parents to 3 children, a son named Alexander Helios, a daughter named Cleopatra Selene, and another son named Ptolemy Philadelphus. Cleopatra was immensely proud of her family and believed her children were destined to rule a vast empire. However, their union was a source of discontent for some. In Rome, Antony's alliance with Cleopatra provoked anger, particularly from Octavian. Octavian viewed Cleopatra as a threat and accused her of attempting to seize control of Rome. He began to disseminate rumors that Cleopatra had ensnared Antony with her beauty and charms. The rivalry. Antony's alliance with Cleopatra also created turmoil in his personal life. He was already married to Octavian's sister, Octavia, but he chose to remain with Cleopatra. This ignited tension between Antony and Octavian, and their rivalry intensified. The escalating tension between Antony and Octavian ultimately led to war. Octavian declared Cleopatra and Antony enemies of Rome and dispatched his army to confront them. Cleopatra and Antony braced themselves for battle, knowing that everything they had strived for hung in the balance. Chapter 5: The Fall of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Cleopatra and Mark Antony, a power couple defying the world, stood ready to fight for their love, their dreams, and their kingdoms. Their final chapter was a tapestry woven with betrayal, heartbreak, and a courage that would echo through the ages. Octavian, their nemesis, was relentless. He yearned to crush Cleopatra and Antony, seize control of Egypt, and halt Antony's growing power. Octavian's army was a formidable force, strong, disciplined, and primed for war. But Cleopatra and Antony were not ones to surrender. They chose to confront Octavian in a colossal naval battle, the Battle of Actium, in 31 BC, off the coast of Greece. Cleopatra commanded her fleet of Egyptian ships, Antony his Roman forces. Together, they believed victory was within reach. The day of the battle dawned, the sea teeming with ships, soldiers, and weaponry. Cleopatra and Antony fought valiantly, but Octavian's army was relentless. Amidst the chaos, an unexpected turn of events unfolded. Cleopatra's ship abruptly altered course and retreated. Many speculate that Cleopatra's maneuver was to safeguard her fleet and herself, but Antony saw it as an act of betrayal. His heart shattered, his forces crumbled under the weight of confusion and despair. Octavian's army seized victory, leaving Antony devastated. He returned to Egypt, desperate for answers from Cleopatra. When they met, Cleopatra revealed her true intentions. She had not betrayed him, she had sought to preserve their lives. Antony's love for her remained steadfast, but their enemies were closing in. Octavian's army pursued them to Egypt. Cleopatra and Antony attempted to defend Alexandria, but they were outnumbered. Recognizing the futility of their resistance, they resolved to face their end together. Antony fought bravely in one final battle, but his army was vanquished. Believing Cleopatra to be dead, his heart shattered, Antony fell on his sword. As he lay dying, news arrived that Cleopatra still lived. His servants carried him to her hiding place, where the two lovers shared their final, poignant moments. Antony died in Cleopatra's arms, leaving her alone to confront her adversaries. Cleopatra, knowing Octavian's imminent arrival, refused to be paraded through Rome as a defeated queen. She was a woman of pride and dignity, determined to control her own fate. In her final moments, Cleopatra adorned herself in her royal robes and crown, surrounded by the treasures and symbols of her reign. Legend has it that she summoned a venomous asp and allowed it to bite her, ending her life on her own terms. Octavian arrived to find Cleopatra dead, lying peacefully in her royal chamber. He was astonished, yet impressed by her unwavering courage. Cleopatra's death marked the end of the Egyptian kingdom, with Octavian taking control and incorporating it into the Roman Empire. But Cleopatra's story did not fade into oblivion. Her life and her love for Antony became legendary, admired for her intelligence, bravery, and unwavering resolve. She was not merely a queen, she was a symbol of strength, resilience, and courage. Cleopatra's story teaches us that even when faced with immense challenges, we can stand tall and fight for our beliefs. She never relinquished her dreams or her country. She demonstrated to the world that women can be powerful leaders, thinkers, and warriors. Her life may have ended tragically, but her legacy endures. Cleopatra reminds us to never surrender, to believe in ourselves, and to take control of our destiny. She proved that even in the darkest hours, we can face our challenges with courage and dignity. So, my friends, let Cleopatra's story ignite your spirit, inspiring you to be strong, to dream without limits, and to never let fear hold you back. Her life may have been fraught with adversity, but it was also brimming with love, hope, and greatness. Be like Cleopatra, bold, fearless, and unforgettable.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to check out our next video for more engaging content. Don't forget to subscribe to Learn English with Profi Jaimi, so you never miss out on new stories and helpful English learning tips. See you in the next video.